I would say I've always been an anxious person, but my first panic attack was my first day in Texas. I was lying in bed that night and I started feeling kind of disorientated and kind of like this unreality. And then this fear just started coming. My heart was beating like 100 miles an hour. I felt like it was just gonna burst out of my chest, and you can't get away from it. You can't stop it because it just comes out of nowhere. It just kind of shuts down your life because you are trying to prevent it and you really can't. It doesn't feel like you have any control, so you keep stopping doing things. And so I got to the point where I was almost agoraphobic. I would go a little bit out of my house, but not very much at all, because it was just such an awful feeling to have a panic attack, and I always wanted to be able to get back to my house when I had one. We never really had all the infertility tests. Like, we were trying to get pregnant before we moved here. And then after we moved here, we were still trying to get pregnant, and it just never happened. And I just felt like there were a lot of kids out there that needed love, so that's why we decided to adopt. Even though I was still having anxiety problems, we started the process. I'm kind of hoping that it's a slow process, actually praying that it's a slow process, because I wanted to be well over my issues before I went. When you look at adoption waits now, sometimes people send their paperwork to China and they wait for 2 years. But ours was like 6 months from the time we sent our paperwork over there till we got the call that our son was waiting for us. So I'm pacing up and down the, outside of the plane in the airport, and I just kept saying over and over, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this. It just felt like too much of a leap for me. It just felt impossible. I can't get off if I have a panic attack. I can't go home. I can't go running home if I felt like I needed to. But he was there with me the whole trip. Before we went, we had to book this flight, and there was this one-time only special deal. It was one of those weird things where we could upgrade to business class for like $200. I think it was either $200 or $300. I mean, that just never happens, right? And so the claustrophobia for me wasn't that much of a problem on the plane, because we had this nice seat at the front of the plane. There was my favorite classical piece playing. It was George Winston's December. But it was really an amazing experience. Like I said, I wanted him to heal me before we went, but he used the trip to really help me get over so much of my anxiety. Because on the way home, we had Ben, carrying Ben, holding Ben on the airplane. I didn't have any anxiety problems at all. If I would have let my fear stop me, I wouldn't have my kids.